welcome to Wild Fox Writing. I'm Evangeline.
And I'm Blair.
This episode is going to be split into two parts. We're recording this at least the week after New Year's, so this is more of just a fun episode, but we figured that in this part one, we're going to be talking a little bit about what we're doing and why we're doing this, which is we are going to be taking personality tests for our book characters.
Yes, it will be very fun.
Alright, let's get into it. We're going to explain in this episode why this might be helpful and why you might like to do it, and in next episode, I don't know, it's just going to be a interesting, fun time.
Yeah.
Greetings! We are aliens from Planet Merp. Oh, wait, no. That was our other podcast. No, we're teen authors.
I'm Blair Wild, and my favorite animal is pigs.
I'm Evangeline Fox, and I'm actually a person.
No, but actually, we're high schoolers who like torture ourselves by writing thousands of words each day. So we figured we'd torture you too.
You're listening to Wild Fox Writing, where we talk about everything writing, reading, and books. Enjoy! Alright, let's get right in. So, in this video, like I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about why it might be helpful to take personality tests for your characters, or, I mean, even if you don't take a quote-unquote personality test, at least thinking a little bit about what categories your characters fall into, because actually the more extreme you make them geared to a specific personality, the better said personality comes across in your writing. And yeah.
It's also easier to write extremes because then your characters are more defined. Which is a good thing about personality tests because they can separate your characters more.
Yeah. It's not very realistic, so to say, for someone to be so extremely, fitting into one personality. However, that does make writing easier for you to, really flesh out your characters, because it's easier to write someone who is extremely geared toward one way over the other, instead of being well, they're kind of like this, but they're also kind of like that, and they might choose this, or they might choose that, depending on what they're feeling.
Yeah. And then that also leads to, their motives. If they're not, extremely one thing, then you don't really know what their motives would be or what they would be inclined to choose.
Yeah. Personality can be very helpful to, it is important that you understand your character's personality, because if you don't understand your character's personality, then they'll do just whatever they want to when it comes to making choices and reacting to their environment, because everyone reacts a little bit differently to the environment, and if you just have your characters choosing what feels most relevant to the plot, it will feel very plot-driven, and your character isn't actually having any influence on the plot.
Yeah, if you the plot is happening to the character instead of the character happening to the plot. Oh yeah, I just read that quote somewhere and I like to quote it.
Yeah.
But, taking a personality test also, it kind of helps you in the way of, it's the same kind of thing as taking it for yourself. It helps you learn more about them.
Yeah.
And then, if you're writing your book, well, first of all, it gives you, a basis for starting. If you haven't written and you're trying to learn about who your character might be or what choices they might make, that'd be helpful. But also, if you're just, not sure what they would choose, then you can look back on it. What would this personality type choose? And then,
Yeah. It also being prompted this by the personality test, it forces you to maybe your character is very similar to yourself, but it does force you to step into someone else's shoes and try and look at it from your character's perspective and think really deeply, what would my character do? What does my character like and dislike? What is my character's values? What would they do in this situation? What would they do in that situation? What are their beliefs? And that allows you to go deeper into your character's personality and understand them better.
Yeah. And, like I was saying, if you, took a test, it would give you a good basis to start off of to then like build off of. Because like, I mean, it's not going to tell you everything, but it can give you a good general sense of the main driving force of their personality.
Yeah.
And
not saying that their personality can't like sort of shift or their ideals will shift throughout the book. I mean, that often happens in a book, is their values and beliefs will change as they develop, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll necessarily go away from their personality. It just means that you can get a good starting point of both your character's greatest strengths and their greatest weaknesses, which will help with what we were talking, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about character flaws.
yeah.
What flaws make the most sense for your character based on their personality and also past experiences. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, okay, so I just thought of an idea and then I lost it. I'm gonna figure it out though. Okay, so taking a test can also help you to like put yourself, like, I think you said this, like, into someone else's shoes that you wouldn't normally. Like, you know, to see from someone else's perspective. So, like,
that's basically what you're doing in your book, is writing from someone else's perspective.
Yeah, and it, like, help you to be able to see another, like, see through their eyes more, so.
Yeah, because if you take it for yourself, I mean, the questions on personality tests seem, like, pretty obvious, but it actually gets you thinking, like, do I like this?
Yeah.
Or do I not? Like, what do I think about this? What do I think about that? And it's the same thing for when you're writing your characters and you come to making them, like, talk and interact with people, interact with the plot. What would they do? Like, are they super nice and friendly, or are they a little bit more cold and reserved? Do they like big crowds, or do they prefer to stay away? And it helps you create more consistency with the choices your characters are making and your characters' likes and dislikes.
And it makes you think of, like, details that you wouldn't have cared about before, like.
And the more you know your character, the better you write the character. Like, if I were to write a story right now, I could probably write a better story from my best friend's perspective than a complete stranger I saw 2 seconds ago on the street. And it would be more accurate than, like, making up a story about the person I saw on the street.
Yeah. And also, taking personality tests alone are just fun. Especially if you like taking them in your free time anyway.
Yeah.
It's a great way to spend your afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we're kind of, like, coming off of the long break and just doing something a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
A little bit unusual.
In my opinion, I personally think it'll be easier to take a personality test for my character than for myself.
Yeah, you don't have to think so deeply about yourself. You don't have to confront yourself as much. You don't have to ask yourself, am I a terrible person? It's fun that way.
So yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
Nope, I think this is going to be a pretty short video.
Okay, very short.
We will see you next week.
Yeah, when we take the test.
Feel free to take it along with us, take it before us, and see what your results are, and enjoy your week, friends.
Yeah, thank you for listening.